day 28 of my cycle. I want to do a vlog of how I'm feeling on each day of my cycle and talk a little bit about what is happening with the hormones and why we feel the way we feel. And I might not feel the most friendly person in this video, and I want to say that it's not me, it's the hormones. And it moves. It's very, very interesting. And if we are not very much aware of what is happening internally, we can have very bad interactions. And for example, everything is annoying me, everyone is annoying me. I don't want to interact that much, I don't want to socialize that much. And if I'm not aware that this is related to my cycle because I'm close to my menstruation, I start taking this personal. I start thinking that something is wrong with me, even though sometimes those thoughts does pop up in the mind, like, oh my God, I don't feel pretty. Oh my God, I'm not really good. That kind of stuff does happen because of the hormones. But once you're aware, you're like, okay, I can chill. I'm gonna feel completely different in a few days. It's just the hormones. And when you're not very much aware what's happening internally, like I said, you start having interactions, bad interactions because of it. And back on the days, I didn't have a lot of information or knowledge about what was happening. I just knew there was PMS a few weeks before my period, but I didn't know when my period was coming. I didn't know. I have no idea. I just remember my family kind of like, oh, you're in PMS, it's close to your, and that used to make me even more mad. And it used to make me very, very upset, because it was kind of like putting a label on me where like, come on, this is not. And now I see completely different. This is something that does happen with the woman body, and it's out of our control. But there's other things that we can do to minimize the symptoms. Kind of like, if you know my case, I know that I'm on closer to my period the last day of my cycle, probably because it goes from 28 to 30. If I feel like this, what can I do to minimize the symptoms? I don't work out very hard. I don't do very intense yoga classes. I don't do hot yoga. I don't run. I don't do any very high intensity workout because the cortisol hormone is very high. That's why we get so frustrated, so irritated. It's easy to get in arguments. It's easy to fight with everybody. So practicing any other form of exercise that is stress the body, that elevates the cortisol, is just gonna make this even more intense. So I do things that is the opposite. I go for a nature walk. I do restorative yoga. I do more meditation. I do journaling. I do yin yoga. Things that are more introspective and doesn't require much energy and doesn't require a lot from my body. And luckily, I have a more flexible schedule, so I'm able to play around with my classes, with things that I need to do. So whenever I feel more like this, I can start. I don't feel like interacting. I don't teach on that day because I know every little thing that is going to happen, I'm going to get frustrated and I'm going to think that the issue is me. For example, today I went to teach a class and it's spring, so it's a beautiful, beautiful day outside. It's very, very warm here in where I live, and there was nobody signed up for the class. So like, I was not really feeling my best. And even though I kept this schedule, I was okay, you prepare yourself, you get yourself ready, you go. I don't drive here, so I use the public transportation. So I got the public transportation, the bus and all that. And I get there and nobody signed up. And then my mind decided, okay, what can I do with this time? What can I, do here? Should I record it a class? Should I go back home? Should I wait a couple minutes? Should I walk around town? And then, these little things start to frustrate. And that's when I was like, okay, I want to do a video, a vlog, because I want to do on the moment that I feel the emotion, because that's when it's more fresh in my mind. And then I start realizing, oh, I'm very, like, my good hormones are very, very low. That's why I'm very more annoyed and stressed than I was in the morning. I have a couple notes here that I need to read because memory also not the best during this time, about the hormones, what kind of is happening during this time. Here's what's happening with the hormones internally. Estrogen is very low. So the estrogen supports mood, motivation, and mental clarity. So since it's very low, the opposite is happening. Mood swings, going in, not even mood swing, more like very moody, a lot of mental fog, that's check, and very unmotivated. Even though you can be having the best ideas, you're not motivated to do it. And I'm very surprised that I'm doing this because I've been wanting to do this, and then I don't want to do it, but like I want to do, like I said, while the hormones are very intense. So like I said, I'm not being myself 100% because of the hormones. And this is not joke, like this is real. This is real. Okay, progesterone dropping very fast. So like I said, in the morning I was feeling a little bit, better than I am now. So, but since progesterone is dropping very fast, it's very normal to have a shift in very fast. So progesterone helps you feel calm and grounded. So I am very irritated. I am very annoyed. You can even notice by the tone of my voice. I usually don't speak this way. And even like when I was writing down, when I was deciding on what to talk about it, even my ideas was annoying me. So because progesterone is dropping very fast, you may feel anxious, restless, and emotional sensitive. All of three at the same time. The same time that I don't have a lot of energy to go for a long walk on this beautiful hot day, I can stay sitting at home because I'm restless. And I got very emotional, sensitive. I started, why am I not enjoying the weather outside? I see people enjoying the weather outside and I'm here doing nothing. So this is part of the hormone. You're not going crazy. This happens, and it is real. It is serious. So like I said, whenever we have more awareness, more knowledge that this is happening, it affects you different. Because you have the awareness, you observe your mind going through this, your emotional body going through that, and you're not reacting with. That's the yoga practice and the meditation practice teaches that, to observe the physical body, the mental, the emotional, not as part of you, but as an object. So like you feel an emotion, but you don't react with, and you feel the things in your body and you don't react. So the yoga practice and the meditation practice definitely 1000% has helped me understand and get more knowledge about myself. And then combining the yoga, the meditation practice with the knowledge of the woman's cycle has just improved completely. And that doesn't take away the fact that I am annoyed, that I am irritated, that I am moody, but I know that I am. So even if I'm talking with my friends or my partner and they want to do something, like I'm not in the mood, like I'm close to my period, so like I'm not very much wanted to do certain kind of stuff, or I was motivated, I was excited to do before, but now I'm not anymore. And being very clear of it, it's very important. You're being truth, you know. Okay, serotonin decreases. Serotonin stabilizes the mood, so it's the good feeling hormone, the chemical in the brain, and supports the feelings and well-being. So that almost doesn't exist. And once again, that's why every little thing annoys me, annoys you if you're in this time of your period. So because it's low, you can feel irritated, irritable, emotional, and have cravings. Who doesn't? That's why we want to eat more chocolate. I'm a guardian of the cacao, so I offer cacao ceremonies, and cacao, the 100% cacao is the one of, I think, the most, is what have the most amount of serotonin. So 100% cacao, it will be your best friend throughout your entire cycle, especially closer to the menstruation, because it has all these things that we are missing. The serotonin, it has magnesium, so it helps regulate your mood in a very yummy way. And that's why when we are closer to our period, we crave chocolate. We want to eat chocolate. And that's why also we crave sugar, because sugar, it gives that release, instant release of feeling good. But the chocolate is a more healthier, or the 100% cacao, it's a more healthier way to get that. And like I said before, cortisol, it's very, very high. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And because the body is very sensitive, small things get annoyed. So try this time is a good time to not do things that is stress the body or stress the mind, like, you know, going to have a conversation with someone that naturally irritates you, or watch something that irritates you, or it's just gonna elevate your cortisol. And like I said, high intensity exercise that just make the cortisol go to the roof and makes you go crazy. So it's a very much you learning how to deal with, because it's different from each person. And I feel that every month is completely different as well. And every month it's being like, okay, here we are again, how I feel this time, what can I do to support myself so it's more smooth. What I've been doing, and I've been doing it on and off, but I know how better I feel, is cutting coffee or any energy drink. At least I try at least 1 week before. Not always succeed because I really like coffee, but if I want to go back on having on cutting 2 weeks before, because when I did that, my cycle was better, my menstruation was way more smooth, my PMS was way more smooth. So I had coffee yesterday, I did not have coffee today, and that's also a little bit of part of why I'm so irritated. But I had cacao. I'm gonna make a cacao, 100% cacao in a little bit. And yes, this is how I feel today on my 28th day of cycle. I would love to keep doing this daily, kind of like an update, because I didn't have this knowledge growing up. And not just me, we didn't know. Like, we as society was, not that everything was very new, but we didn't know much about ourselves. And now that we have the internet and social media, it's easier to learn, especially now with science and everything. So like, you can ask on all the platforms, and you can find informations. And like I said, knowledge, information, it's very, very helpful. So if you have anything to share about your own experience, I would love to hear how do you feel closer to your period on the end of your cycle? What do you do that feels good and you notice difference? And also, like, if you like this video, and yeah, that's all. Let's see how I feel tomorrow. Yeah, and if you like, please subscribe and drop something on the comments below. Let's get in touch. Let's get connected. Bye.